Hi, seventh graders. Welcome to seventh grade. This is Mrs. McKelvey, and you are watching my first ever Screencastify. So, when I'm finished, I would love to hear your feedback on how I did. I wanted to give you some information on how you can access school counseling services, whether you are in person or fully remote. I wanted to make sure you had the information on how to find me. The goal of counseling services at Haddonfield Middle School hasn't changed. There's just a little bit of information that's different because of social distancing. So I am fortunate enough to be your school counselor the entire time you're here in middle school. But there are two other counselors, and I just like to make sure that all students know that all three counselors are the counseling department. So if you ever come to talk to me and I am with another student in a meeting or not available, you can also talk with Miss Aquino, who's the eighth grade counselor, or Miss Ettinger, who is the sixth grade counselor. And our goal is just to help you to have a successful year. That means success in your studies, in your after school activities, so that you feel happy and connected to our school. Here's some information about me. This is just a picture of what I look like when I'm not wearing a mask, since we're wearing a mask so often. This is a picture of my kids. My son, Sam, is a sophomore, and my daughter, Gemma, is in eighth grade. This is a picture from the beach this summer. They ask me to ask their permission before I post their picture, and this is a picture that they said it was okay for me to add to the slideshow. We have two dogs, Friday and Fergie. Sometimes students will say, I don't need to come to counseling, everything is fine. And I want to make sure that you know that you don't have to come to counseling just because there's an issue. I would love it if you would stop by or join a meet just to let me know how your summer was, what you're thinking about seventh grade, something you would like to work on this year, and any ideas for things that you think would make your school year great. There are lots of ways to meet with me, whether you are in person or virtual. If you want to schedule a meeting in advance, you can email me and we can schedule an in-person meeting or a virtual meeting. I'm going to post lots of different Google Meets on Google Classroom. Hopefully everybody received an email from me with a code. If you haven't joined my Google Classroom, please make sure you join because that's where I will be giving you information about different meets and different things. You are always invited to join any meet that is posted. You can also ask for an individual meet if it's not something you would want to talk about in a group. And some students last year asked for specific meets, so I can also plan small group meetings. If you don't feel like you need to come to a meet, a lot of students have already filled out my survey and asked if the meets are mandatory. I'm definitely not forcing you to come to any meets. But if you don't feel like you need to come to a meet, it would be really fun if you would just pop onto one of the mystery meets. They were a lot of fun last year and just a nice way to say hi to some classmates that you may not be seeing this year if you're in a different cohort. Sometimes after the summer, people have trouble finding the counseling office. The counseling office is across from Miss Resnick's room on the eighth grade floor. When you come into the counseling office, you'll see that there are socially distanced seats. My office is all the way in the back. So if you're just stopping to the office, if you scheduled a meeting or your teacher called, please make sure you walk around to the back and just wave to me through the window so that I know that you're there. Sometimes I'm with another student or in a meeting and I don't always know that you're out there. So make sure that you let me know that you're waiting out in the waiting area. This is just a reminder that the counseling offices, like the rest of the school, are a mandatory mask zone. We are just reminding everybody that students need to keep their masks on at all times, even if you are just waiting in the waiting area. If you need to take a break from your mask, please let me know and we can step outside. The counseling office procedures in person. If you can make an appointment, that would be great. If it's not urgent, please have your teacher call before you arrive, just because we have very limited seating. And you can also leave a note under my door if you come to the office and I'm not there and you would like to schedule a meeting. The counseling office procedures, if it's a day when you're not in school or if you're fully remote. So you can send me an email and we can schedule a Google Meet or a Google Hangout. It is definitely okay with me if you prefer to have your camera off, although it's also okay to have your camera on. All of our counseling groups are going to be held virtually because of social distancing. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please send me an email just to let me know that you saw this and that you have the information on counseling services this year. If you haven't done so already, please fill out the survey that I posted on Google Classroom so that I can start scheduling meets this week. That's it. I hope you guys have a great school year.